$100 a week for two people is what I set our grocery budget at in October, and it's getting increasingly hard to follow. I live in Florida where Publix dominates the grocery chain market, but there are some alternatives and some things that I have been doing to try to stick to that $100 a week budget. I'll show you how I save money on groceries in this video. So before I lost my job last month, Dawn and I used to spend like $2,000 a month or more on groceries, pet supplies, and beer and wine for two people and five pets. Every 2 weeks when we would pay off our joint credit card, it was often over $1,000, sometimes $1,300 and up to $1,500. It was ridiculous the amount that we were spending on food and sometimes miscellaneous crap from Amazon. So we reeled things back last month and now carefully monitor what we spend. Much like the rest of the country, grocery prices in Florida have increased 4 to 6% over the last year, and grocery prices in Tampa are 6% higher than the national average. I used to be able to get everything I needed at one grocery store. Now I spend several hours a day chasing deals at Aldi and Walmart and Sprouts and Publix. Those are the chain grocery stores near me. So let's start with the most expensive grocery store in my area. And no, it's not Sprouts. It's actually Publix, whose motto is, "Where shopping is a pleasure." Well, not anymore. They are so out of touch with their pricing that it's no longer a pleasure to shop there. However, I still do. And it's probably the most strategic grocery shopping that I do. So unlike Walmart and Aldi, Publix offers buy one, get one free, or BOGOs. They always have. And in the past, their BOGO deals were fantastic. Sometimes I would be able to throw a coupon that I clipped from the Sunday paper towards that BOGO deal to make it even more economical. Well, now they have digital coupons, which means sometimes they match up to a BOGO item. Each week, I go into the Publix app and I clip all the coupons that they offer. Okay, so here are my rules with shopping at Publix. So number one, if I'm going after a BOGO deal, the price of the single item needs to be less than what I can get it at Walmart, because Walmart and Aldi tend to be the most economical choices in our area for grocery shopping. So for instance, take peanut butter. Publix likes to hike up their prices and then advertise the item as BOGO. So they will hike up the price of peanut butter to over $7, and then they put a BOGO on it. So in essence, I would be paying over $3 for a single container of peanut butter when I can get Walmart's version for less than $2. So some BOGOs are not deals, but some are. Okay, so case in point, cat litter. Normally I get Tidy Cats, but recently Publix had Cat's Pride, which is actually a really nice dust-free clumping litter. Publix had it on BOGO. Normal price was $8.99, so with BOGO, I got it for $4.50 for a 10-pound lightweight container. That's cheaper than what I could buy it at for one of them at Walmart, so I stocked up on this litter at Publix. Another good recent score at Publix was chicken. Just this past weekend, they had the brand Bear advertised as BOGO, and unlike other chicken that is usually priced by the pound, Publix priced it by the package. It was $5.50 for legs and thigh packages, so I could mix and match a package of legs or thighs for $2.25 a pack. It's enough to feed Don and I for one meal plus leftovers. So that's the number one rule with Publix. Only buy BOGOs where the price of the single item comes out less than what I would buy it at other stores. Okay, rule number two, it needs to be on sale or I need to have a digital coupon for the item. So if an item isn't on BOGO, it needs to at least be on sale, which also ties into my final rule, number three, with Publix, and that is it's a product that I can't find anywhere else. So Don and I like a particular brand of yellow rice. The other grocery stores around me don't carry it. So I get it at Publix. Sometimes it goes on sale and I can stock up. Like recently, it was 94 cents a pack. Don and I also love Publix subs, but they're $10 for one sub sandwich. Publix sells the hoagie rolls that they make the subs with. So I buy a 4-pack of hoagie rolls and get the meat and the cheese from Aldi, and I'm able to make 4 subs for $10 rather than one sub for $10. Let's talk about meat. Now, meat has gotten outrageously expensive, especially beef. So we don't have a lot of red meat anymore, and that's okay. It's not great for us anyway. We mostly eat chicken and fish. And a surprising place where I can save money on meat is at Sprouts. Sometimes Walmart, sometimes Aldi, but Sprouts tends to mark down their meat that is nearing the sell-by date. I've been able to get some fantastic deals on chicken and other cuts of meat from Sprouts. I bring it home, I repackage it, and then I pop it in the freezer to extend its sell-by date. I've only been able to find that 50% off of meat at Aldi on 2 occasions, and sometimes at Walmart. So speaking of repackaging, so on a recent Aldi trip, they had a vacuum food sealer for $20, and I got the extra bags for an additional $10. Typically, I just throw things in baggies and then pop them in the freezer. But when the ice crystals form, sometimes it can be rather hard to identify what is in my freezer. Yeah, I can label the package, and if I'm not being lazy, I will do that. But I recently came across Jeffrey and Kevin's YouTube channel, which I will link below. They live out in Arizona, but they also have a house in Florida. They're on a similar path as us with wanting to be expats. So about 10 months ago, Jeffrey started to be a food prepper, and he has some great tips on how to buy, freeze, and store food. He and his husband have a $100 a month grocery budget. A month. Ours is $400. Now, granted, it seems prices at his Safeway grocery store, which we don't have in Florida, we don't have that chain, they offer some unbelievable prices that I just can't match in Tampa. But he buys only on sale, and then he uses his vacuum food sealer to prep individual portions. He stores everything in 2 freezers. We also have 2 freezers. Dawn bought me an upright freezer when we lived in Connecticut 15 years ago. It sits in our garage. So go check out their channel as they have some great tips on how to save money on groceries. On occasion, maybe 2 to 3 times a year, the Instacart app will send me an email with $40 off of an $80 order. But I have to be very careful with Instacart because they like to jack up their prices. So when I get one of those emails, I will usually use it at Publix or Target or sometimes other stores like Home Depot or Camping World. And I make sure that I don't go over that $80 so that I can get the maximum benefit of that offer. One final way in which I save money on groceries is by not stepping inside a grocery store. So this works especially well with Walmart. To avoid impulse shopping and being overwhelmed by the enormity of Walmart supercenters, we all know how big they are, I'll use the app and only buy what we need, and then I'll pick it up without having to get out of my car. And recently, our Walmart dropped that 2-hour pickup window, so now I have up to 4 days to pick up my items. And unlike Publix, that tends to hike up their prices when you use the drive-up pickup service, Walmart prices are the same whether you pick it up or you go into the store. So these are the ways in which Dawn and I have been able to drastically trim down our grocery bill over the last month. Do we always get it right? No. Sometimes we go over the budget, especially if I'm stocking up on a sale or a BOGO item. But we are so much more conscious about our spending on groceries than we ever were before. And I think this is going to serve us well when Dawn retires and while I'm still unemployed. Thanks for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe. And let me know in the comments some additional ways in which you've been able to save on groceries during this difficult economic downturn that we are all experiencing here in the United States. Until next time, hasta luego, my friends.